This episode is brought to you by Burchell Wickwire Bryson, a full-service law firm in downtown Halifax, home to some of Nova Scotia's most experienced lawyers. We're taking this opportunity to bring attention to Nova Scotia's Land Titles Initiative. It's a provincially funded program aimed at addressing the province's historic failure to grant valid legal title to African Nova Scotian property owners. The lack of clear title granted to early black settlers in the communities of East Preston, North Preston, Cherrybrook, Sunnyvale, and Lincolnville has made it difficult to sell, transfer, or mortgage these properties, even when they've been in the same family for generations. With the initiative, the provincial government is aiming to provide support and funding to affected community members to help them gain clear title to their land. If you're a property owner in one of the affected African Nova Scotian communities and you have a question about land titles or any other legal issues, please call Burchell Wickwire Bryson at 902-423-6361.
What's up? Feature Friday. We're back with another one. We got my good friends here, Shayna and Chaz Samuel. We're going to let them introduce themselves, but...
Yeah. Before we do the introduction, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Shipkey Labs for their ongoing collaboration and support. Thanks to them, every episode we have two $50 e-gift cards that are given away.
Great. So yeah, maybe introduce yourself.
Yes, guys. My name is Chaz Samuel. Currently own NDOFitness and Apparel, and I have my lovely wife here.
My name is Shayna Samuel. I'm also co-founder of NDOFitness and Apparel, and we have our daughter, Savannah Samuel. She's 9 months old, and she is part owner as well of the businesses.
There we go. The youngest on the Feature Friday ever, and the most guests that we ever had at one time.
Yeah.
So this is super dope. So maybe we could just dive into, tell us about your upbringing and where you come from.
So I'm originally from Antigua. That's in the Caribbean. It's a very small island. I would say it's 108 square miles, roughly about 100,000 people. So it's very small and intimate, which we love. And moving here to Halifax, we find it's very similar, where it's small, knit, everyone knows each other. So we find it, we love it here, and we think we call here our second home.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I'm also from Antigua. I came here about 10 years ago. And then Chaz actually came and followed me for love. So I've been here for 10, and he's been here for about 7 years. So as Chaz said, small island, and when we moved here to Halifax, it had a lot of very similar qualities to Antigua, so we love and appreciate calling Halifax our home too.
Yeah, that's super dope. It's good to have you guys in the city. You guys been building and doing a lot for a community.
Yeah.
So you came first and then he followed?
Oh, yeah.
So you knew each other back in Antigua.
We did.
Okay, walk us through.
I'll give my version of it.
Okay. You better get it right.
So our version is not going to match, but this is the truth here. So pretty much, we both went to school back home in Antigua, a school called Island Academy. She was in a class below mine. And while we were going to school, we didn't really particularly like each other. I thought she was a little bit annoying. So fast forward, several years after us being in high school together, we saw each other out at a party. And I sent her a text. And long story short, we started talking. And that was in the summer. But she was moving back up here to go to Dal to continue school. And at that point, I was in a crossroad in terms of I was either thinking to go back to school in the States or come to Halifax. And she persuaded me to try Halifax. Before we started talking, I never heard anything about Halifax, so I didn't know much. And I've never experienced negative degree weather. So when I got here, thanks to her, I moved in right away. And we continued the business, and things have been smooth sailing since then, and it's been great. So I made the right decision. It was a big risk, but it was well worth it.
That's super dope.
I'm happy to hear you said you made the right decision.
That's awesome. So you were going to go to the U.S. to study?
Yes. I originally went to Tyler Junior College in Texas for 2 years playing basketball. And then I went back home playing for my national team and also working back home in Antigua. But I wanted to finish my degree. So when she was going to Dal, I had a scholarship to go to a university in Florida. But then after meeting her, she told me about St. Mary's. So I applied for St. Mary's. I got accepted. And then it was a decision, should I go to the States or should I go to come to here to Halifax? And looking back on it now in hindsight, I think our lives would have been totally different if I went to university in the States. But I think I definitely made the right decision.
Yeah, that's sick. So what did you study at SMU?
So I did marketing at SMU. Still got 4 more courses to finish. So I'm
okay.
nearly there.
There you go. Good job.
Still going.
So once I'm done those 4 courses, I'll graduate and then graduate with a marketing degree.
Dope. Well, trust me, I ain't got my degree yet either, so we in the same boat.
but we're juggling, right? So
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to juggle a business, as we both know, it definitely, you got to sacrifice. But I think people like us that are doing it, especially the young kids looking up to us, can definitely see young role models.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one reason, especially why I think no matter what, we got to finish it, because we have the young generation looking up to us. And I think they'll be definitely pleased us finishing and completing what we started, right?
Because I find when it comes to schooling, it's like we can learn just as much from doing business and working at a job that we can in school, but often school is a good way to like build your confidence, jumpstart you, because like let's be real, like a lot of people from our communities they don't got the head start.
Yeah.
So going and getting education kind of gives us another leg up in terms of like awareness and know-how and confidence.
Yeah.
Like for me, like going to school gave me the confidence to be like, if I can do anything in school, I know I can do anything in the real world. So.
Yeah. And the network that you make as well at school, I feel like people kind of underappreciate the people you meet, the different spaces that they're in. Those people helps elevate you.
100%. And I find like people also want to help students out. So like if any students are listening to this, is like use your studentness to your advantage and look for mentors and ask for advice and use like, say I'm a student, I'm looking for this, you know what I mean? And people want to help you.
Yeah. And just to add to that point, that's a really good point, because an advisor told us as well, use your time in school wisely. So thanks to the SMU Entrepreneurship Center, we got a lot of help, a lot of advice from them. And that's all because we are students, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you're done graduating, you don't have the access to those luxuries, right? So use it, take advantage of it. It's definitely very helpful.
Yeah, so who's the guy that runs
Jason
that?
Turner.
Yes, he's the man.
Yes, he's the
The
guy.
crazy thing is, I went to Dalhousie and SMU gave me opportunities.
Yes,
like I went to China to Opportunity East through those guys, and it was like like life-changing experience to go to China for like 2 weeks, learn about the culture, learn about and tap in with my suppliers and my business folks that I knew over there. So
that's awesome.
Super cool.
And we have the luxury of tapping into both avenues, because she goes to DAL, I go to SMU.
Yeah.
So we also done things with DAL. We did the DAL Innovate, really good program as well. So we took advantage from both sides,
That's
SMU
dope.
and also DAL. So it's been great.
That's dope. That's dope.
Another thing I love too that I'm seeing is like you're doing a lot of great stuff while in school, which I think is really inspiring to myself, because a lot of times the narrative I see is like, oh, finish school, then do something else, and then do something else. So can you speak to maybe balancing starting, when did you start NDO actually? Like give us that journey of NDO Apparel and how it grew into the...
So great question. So it pretty much started 2018. I did my first semester at St. Mary's, and I went back home for the summer vacation, and I went to watch some of my old teammates play basketball, just a pickup game. Actually, it was the finals of our local league. And after the game, some of my friends from back home were challenging me and telling me like, hey, Chaz, you need to start playing basketball again, you know? Like, why do you give it up? So I took it upon myself. I said, let me start getting back in shape. So I went to the local gym. And like I said, Antigua is very small. So it's like about 100,000 people. So word gets around very quickly. So I just started training. And there's one particular kid in the community started to train with me. So every day he would go back to the village and tell all the kids in the village, like, hey, Chaz is just training at the gym. Why you guys don't come? So after 1 week, it was 10 kids. After 2 weeks, it was 15. And it kept growing. So after I saw that, I realized that we had a movement. And we kept going every single day. So it was like holidays on certain days, and we kept going. And naturally, we started saying the words, hey, man, it's a no days off mentality. So at that point, I went to my wife, and I was like, well, then it was my girlfriend, but wife now. I was like, how could we create something that they could wear externally about how they feel inside? So with the no days off mindset logo or symbol, we wanted to create a symbol where we can put it into a logo.
Yes.
And within 2 minutes, she drew up this logo. And we're like, we're going to go with that. That looks really good. And so the N is for the no, the D is for the days, and the O is for the off. And we printed a couple shirts, and we gave them out to the kids. And what I realized is that once I gave them out, the kids were coming back and saying, like, this shirt has helped me so much, like, helped me in school, helped me to be punctual, helped me to be on time, respectful. And then the parents were coming as well and saying things like, I never thought my child was able to play basketball. I thought he was too short. I thought he didn't have enough confidence. So I realized that the shirt, the brand, the mindset was affecting the kids. So we took it upon ourselves. We moved back to Halifax after that semester, after that summer, and we continued the movement. We came out with active wear, T-shirts, hoodies, and we just kept growing the brand. And we've been 4 years in, going on 5. And here we are. It's been going great. Definitely a lot of sacrifices, but we are happy with how far we've reached so far.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. Because I remember we met. That must have been you guys' first year in there, or like second year?
At the pop-up shop?
Yeah, so Taking Black Oxygen.
Yes, that was first or second year.
Yeah, so we incorporated in
2019.
in the November, and by that summer of 2020 is when we were with Taking Black Oxygen.
Yes.
So yeah, our first year.
And that was a perfect opportunity for us to meet and also like connect, because I seen all the cool stuff you were making, the active wear. I was like, man, that was really good quality.
Yeah.
And like you've been from there till now, it's like 4 years can change so much. It can change. So maybe you can touch on like the evolution of No Days Off, because even for me, like NDO is a mantra for me, like not taking no days off, just staying on the grind, right?
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. I definitely want to say that pop-up that you spoke about, when we did it, I think that was our first year in business. And when I came to the pop-up shop and saw you guys doing the same thing, I was like, wow, like seeing someone is just like, I'll reference it to like basketball. If you're playing basketball, but then you see your favorite basketball idol, Steph, LeBron, doing what you aspire to do, it gives you a different level of motivation, different level of hunger. So I think we never even spoke to each other, but when I came and saw all the different merch, all the different socks you had, the keychain, one thing I saw before I met you, I saw you had these air fresheners.
Yeah.
So
What's that?
I was driving and then I see, what's this logo like everyone has in their car? And then I came to the pop-up shop and then I saw you, and then one thing that struck me as really humbling is like we spoke, we chopped it up there, and how much advice you're giving me, how humble you were. Like that definitely, I looked at that and was like, okay, that gave me inspiration, motivation to continue. And we just kept grinding. When we first started, we started off through basketball. So when I moved up here, we focused primarily on clothing. But then, as we all know, COVID happened. So when COVID happened, there was no more pop-ups for a while.
Yeah.
So I told myself, okay, I want to bring what I did in Antigua and start doing it up here. So I took it upon myself, started training kids up here locally. And I definitely wanted just to get my name out. So I started the NDO page as well, NDOFitness page. And at that time, I didn't know anyone. So in my mind, I was thinking, how can I elevate? How can I grow the brand without knowing anyone over here in Halifax? And it was very daunting and challenging. So I created an Instagram account, train athletes, and I would do these videos to promote and also help promote the business as well. And 4 years later, now the page is grown so much tremendously. And now kids are actually like looking forward for the videos being posted. And I think social media and looking for the free avenues where you can grow your brand is the best way I'll tell any athlete and any aspiring entrepreneur how to grow your brand is to use what's available to you. So the entrepreneurship centers, the social media, I think that's what really helps us to keep growing and keep elevating, because we're all young, we're all entrepreneurs, we're doing school as well. To start up a company, we all don't have infinite capital, right? So we got to find ways to be cost effective and still be able to get your brand, your name out there. So that's what we did, and it's been going pretty good.
100%. And no days off attitude is that's what helped you get to that next level.
Exactly.
And transition, pivot, and build and continue to grow.
Yeah.
And even from my experience, like when we first met, it was good. Like the same thing that you just said to me, I'm saying it right back to you, because you motivated me and you pushed me to be like, we can do this, we can grind, we can make this happen.
Yeah.
It's just figuring it out. And us connecting, us chopping it up, me giving you advice, you giving me advice, it allowed us to get to where we are today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like to me, it's never takes away when you give someone else advice or when you give them game, because it allows you to grow, it allows you to push. And even if like, say for example, like there's been times in my career that people have stole my ideas because I share them with people openly. That just doesn't really take away from me, because I know that I had a good idea. I just keep executing on it, you know what I mean? And then still connect. And there's sometimes when it gets overwhelming, but then if you keep the mantra, no days off, and you keep pushing, then you get to that mountain and you keep growing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what's it been like having your support while doing the NDO fitness and while doing those things? What's it been like working together to make these visions come to life?
So I tell everyone, like, most people would see me as the face because I'm always out there posting videos, working. But I think the real MVP is Shayna.
Shout out to the real MVP.
I don't know how she does it, so I would say she's the brains. I'm just the worker. So I do the training, but she does all the back end. And I think it's been so great because really early I figured out that especially growing a business, you can't do it by yourself. You need a team, right? So from the early beginning, I realized that what I'm good in and what she's good at. So with the back end, with the financials, with the registration, the details, the correspondence, she does all of that. That's her baby. I keep out. She's the boss.
Her second
and when
baby.
it comes to second baby, yeah. And when it comes to like the training, the marketing, I deal with it, and I think we have a really, really good tandem, and us working together. I definitely know for sure it won't be possible without us working together. And I think that's the beauty about it. It takes two to tango sometimes, right? So it's been going well.
Yeah.
And having said all that, besides all this, so I'm doing my little marketing degree. She's just done a PhD, now in medical school. So she's doing all that while still trying to juggle the business. It's been amazing. I call her Superwoman.
Superwoman.
Thank you, babe. Thank you. I don't know how much more I can add to that, but I think I really love how you say we both have our strengths and we bring that to the table. And I meet you where you're at and you meet me where I'm at and we make it work. So where I fall, he picks me up, and where he falls, I pick him up. And I think combining our strengths makes us a really good force. And as Chaz said, like, we can't do it without our team, and we do have some other members on our team that we've hired on since I started med school, and they've been fabulous. And you know, it's really great growing the team together and having people who share the same idea, share the same goal. So it's been fantastic working with our entire team.
Nice.
Your teamwork make the dream work, and no days off.
Yeah, they gonna make me cry. Y'all so cute.
That's right.
No, that's really good. So maybe just steering towards, you mentioned med school. So maybe speaking to your journey as well, and how you're able to balance med school and doing the business and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, because she just did her MCAS.
Yeah.
I know, we had a conversation,
Yeah.
and it's so good to, see folks like us applying to med school
Definitely.
and applying to, become members in the healthcare system.
Yeah.
I've always known that I wanted to go to medical school. When I came here back in 2014, I did my undergrad in neuroscience, and I wanted to apply to med school right after my undergrad, but I was an international student.
Yeah.
And so I could not apply straight away to DAL, and that started my journey of starting my master's, and then it turned out to a PhD, all while working part-time so that I can get my permanent residency.
Yeah.
So once I got my permanent residency, I knew I was ready to apply to DalMed. I never gave up on that goal. I was always determined. I found I was pregnant last year, and in April, actually, and the applications for DalMed opened up shortly after I found out I was pregnant. And I knew despite everything, I was determined to still apply. And so, it's just been awesome. I got accepted and I started med school at the end of August, and juggling everything has just been awesome. I was able to finish my PhD degree. I graduate next week, which
that's
is,
exciting.
I know, which is very exciting.
Congrats.
My whole family's coming up for that event.
Nice.
I think a lot of people think that it'd be much harder being a parent and being in med school. A lot of people ask, how do I juggle it all? But I find being a parent really gives me structure. And throughout my years in my PhD, I've learned, through hard ways of how to be organized, how to be structured, how to be determined. And those are some things that we really apply in our business as well with the NDO mentality. And I think that's really helped me through my journey. And my journey as a mom, my child always comes first. So I know after school, I'm in the library at the classes. I spend a few hours in the library. And once I get home, I'm a mom, and I'm home, and I'm with my baby. And the weekends I reserve for my baby. So it's just finding that balance and finding that structure. And it's been working out really well. You saying hi? You wanted to say
You got something to say.
I like that you touched on all of that, because the folks out there that, not to say that some people make excuses or whatever why they can't do medical school or why they can't do this and that. You're a testament to show, like, you can have a kid, you can get your PhD, you can go to medical school, you can run a business at the same time, and it's like, You know, I'm thinking
No
like,
excuse.
I'm like how? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
And obviously through strong supports, like my husband supports me so much throughout my journey. Having people in your corner, it's very important. So I must thank you as well, babe, for just being there and being supportive, because I couldn't do it alone. Yeah.
And I think just to touch on her point as well, to go back to the point of it takes two to tango. I think like we're all humans, right? So I don't want anyone that's watching to think like we never get tired or like we never get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so great to have a partner, because some days I wake up and I'm like, oh man, I gotta go grind again.
Yeah.
But then on her side, when I see like she gets up like 7:20, gets to school for like 7:45 every day, and like gets home like 5:30 every day, like nonstop, and like she comes home even happier than when she left, because she's doing what she's passionate about, and that just gives me more motivation. So like when I saw you at the pop-up shop, and I saw how you grind and how much different products you had, it gives me motivation. So like I think it's very key and very important to find the right partners in terms of the right friends, the right husband, the right boyfriend, the right girlfriend, because it helps a long way. If, for example, she was, let's say, not doing anything, I'll feel like, okay, no, I can just chill today. But having her helping me to grind, it just gives me motivation,
Yeah,
right?
like you said earlier, it's like you looking at someone else grinding and you're gonna grind, and
Exactly.
it pushes you.
Yeah.
And I find it's like when you're saying like you got to find the right friends. It's the friends that give you energy, not the friends that take your energy away.
Exactly.
And if you got a friend that got like a positive attitude, because you met Ernie and he helped me sell, and it's like he's always got a good vibe. He always got a smile.
Facts.
So that energy and that vibe, it adds value to you.
Exactly.
It adds energy to you. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
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 No, for sure. Yeah, having someone to fuel your energy and pick you up when sometimes you're feeling low, I think that's really important, especially in relationships as well, which you both are demonstrating really well.
Because you're feeding off each other, and I think that's a really point to like hammer down again, is like your wife, your spouse, your friends in your friend group. Just make sure you got positive people around you that are positive. Like you said, she goes to school and comes back even happier than when she left. So it's like those things are like, I feel like important to just be around positivity and be around people that are grinders, because grinders make other people grind, you know? You can't be like playing ball with somebody that ain't playing hard and then think you're going to play harder. You're going to play like, blah, this is easy.
Energy transfers.
Exactly.
Energy definitely transfers.
What's Rodney always say?
Energy doesn't die, it only transforms.
So just keep that good vibe flowing.
No, for sure. But another question, since Savannah, right? Savannah's here. Maybe just speaking to motherhood and fatherhood, how your experience has been with that, what that journey has been like, and your hopes, I guess, for the future.
Okay, maybe I'll start.
Okay.
The journey has been incredible. The point blank period. I mean, honestly, I was a bit afraid going into med school as a first-time mom. I was 9 months pregnant when I had my interview for med school. Wow. And so there was a lot of fears surrounding, what is that going to look like? And the support at Dow has been incredible.
Nice.
I must say, like, I haven't had 1 ounce of judgment of being a mom, first-time mom in my first year of medical school. It's just been fantastic. And I think it also speaks to just having good support, and having a father who's present for Savannah, who's there, who's very instrumental in her care. It's just been incredible. I thought life would look a lot differently, and trust me, it does change when you have a child. But it feels very normal.
Yeah.
It feels very real. It feels very natural.
I love that. Yeah.
Just add to that point as well. I think before we had Savannah, like I always used to tell myself, like I want to have a child when I'm financially set, like everything is going well, I have everything that I need. Yeah. But my parents also used to tell me, you're never gonna have a child when you're absolutely ready. And so said, so done. So she happened, surprisingly, but we're so grateful. And what I think, especially with me, like the purpose shifted. So like when she was born, my drive increased. I had so much more energy because now, before she was born, I was thinking more so of me and my partner, but then your whole focus, your whole goal, your whole mindset shifts to her. Yeah. So like everything is, what am I going to do today so like she can benefit in the future, right?
Yeah.
So she can continue the legacy, and we're just trying to be good role models for her.
Like a future mindset. And
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. setting your child up for good successes and stuff like that. So maybe that's my next question, your motivations in general that you've had and how those motivations have changed also when you had a child as well.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely had a lot of intrinsic motivation for going to med school. I knew that's what I wanted to do.
How did you know, by the way? I meant to ask that earlier. How did you know? Was it like a gut feeling?
Yeah, I think it's a gut feeling, honestly. I say for like, from the 6th grade, but I actually skipped grade 6, so maybe from grade 5.
All right.
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. And, they always say, like, don't say in your interview it's because you want to help people. But genuinely, it's because I want to help people. I want to be able to, to be that person who can make a difference in the medical world. So that's my motivation for getting to med school and doing well in school has always been that higher goal. Before my child. And then it shifted really also for my family, right? And so there is that intrinsic motivation to do it for myself, but then also to do it for my family. I don't know if you have any, I think for you also like the motivation behind NDO and creating NDO Fitness was just to give back to the basketball culture and to sort of be more prominent in that space. And maybe you can talk a little bit more about that.
When I first started, like honestly, I'll be totally transparent. When I first started playing basketball when I was 14, we all had the dream of going to the NBA. So like as an athlete, being young, that's my goal. So when you asked me when I was younger, my plan A was going to the NBA and plan B was going to the NBA. And my parents always used to tell me, Chaz, you gotta have a plan B. You gotta have a plan B. And now I'm 30 years old. In hindsight, I'm like, it's good to have a plan B because the chances of going to the NBA, as we all know, it's tough.
Slim.
Gotta be really, really, really good. Little bit of politics, a little bit of luck as well. So once I realized that I wasn't going to go to the NBA, my motivation and goal shifted, and I was telling myself, how can I still impact the game, even though I'm not playing in the NBA? And then I realized there's so many other ways that you can still impact and still give back to the younger generation, even though you're not playing. And that's when I took it upon myself to start teaching the game and start teaching the fundamentals of basketball. And once I realized that the impact I created with doing it, that was the joy for me, seeing different athletes being benefited by just fundamentally training. And then it kind of shifted when she was born because then I realized how important having good role models in your life are. And she's only 9 months, but even certain things that we do, she's already starting to pick up. So she knows like point to the ears, point to the nose, and then you realize how important, like I said, having good people in your community, in your family, So now that's what I try to do with teaching the kids. I just don't teach them basketball because, like I said, being experienced, if I train 200 athletes, maybe one might go to a really, really high level, but the other 199 are not going to play at the next level. So what are you really teaching them? So then I took a step back and was like, I got to start teaching them life goals. So being respectful, being punctual, being on time, being a good leader, being a good role model, working hard in class, working hard in school. So that's what I try to focus on. And basketball is just the tool that brings all that together. So that's the goal, that's the mindset behind of it.
So I think my nephew and my godson, they train with you.
Yes, Jaden. Yes.
So maybe touch on like the inspiration that you get from the kids that you instill the fundamentals and the principles of basketball and the drive that you instill in them. Because I know they're so proud to come back and say like, oh, I met Chaz, or you know what I mean? Like my because they know that you're my friend. So like they come back and tell me like, oh, I'm training with your friend. And
that's a great point. And like that's what keeps me going. So everyone will say like, man, like you go hard every day, and like I see it, but I honestly don't feel it because, like Shayna, she is passionate about what she does in school. So she's super excited, and it's the same with me. I'm super excited about what I do. And then when I hear the stories of the parents and the kids, of how much impact, how much growth, how much positivity that they're seeing, not just on the court, but off the court, that's what keeps me going. That's what inspires me. So me inspiring them also inspires me. So it's like I said, with life and with business, it's always a revolving door, and it takes two to tango. It might not be your partner, it might be the people that you're training, your customers that are buying. It's still two to tango, right? So that's how I look at it, and that's what inspires me, and that's what keeps me going.
That's dope. That's dope. Wow. So you probably one of the first folks to have a gym in the city.
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet, but I'm definitely gonna come pop by. Can you tell us about that journey and how that evolved from like maybe where you started with the community here and then what you built up?
Yeah, no, for sure. So when I first came over here, started doing the training, and it was during COVID. So that was in 2020, and I started training kids outdoors, and I'm pretty sure I've been to like maybe almost every outdoor court in the HRM. I was training athletes, driving up and down all over, but then it would get to the winter, and I still continue my training, but what I found it was super, super hard to get access to gym rentals, gym facilities. There are a lot of kids that are playing basketball in Halifax, and gym rentals are hard to get sometimes. So having that difficulty, and Halifax is a really cool place, so it gets to like -10, -12, and it's not even possible to even think about trying to play basketball during the winter. So after experiencing those struggles and those problems trying to get an indoor facility, me and Shayna were just brainstorming, and I was like, you know what? And I'll be honest, I think Shayna had even more confidence in myself than I had in myself. We're like, you know what? We're going to just grind for the next year or however long it takes, and we're going to try and build our own spot, have our own space where kids can come, and there'll be no issue in trying to get gym rentals or gym bookings. So I took it upon the journey, and like, I'm not going to lie now, I didn't fully believe it, but having good partners and having good someone in your corner, like the confidence she instilled in me, and the drive she said, like, Chaz, you can do it. And she just kept pushing me. And obviously my family members, my close friends, my family, they were pushing me, but I lived with her. She was always in my ear. So I was just grinding. And then we found a spot in Bedford, and we said, you know what, we're going to do it. And the challenging part about it is because, see, like when I came to the pop-up, I saw someone that's doing the same thing as me. So it was eye-popping and motivational because I saw someone I could see through myself and saw you. So I said, you know what, like, that motivated me. But with the basketball gym and the basketball facility, it was the first one over here. So even like we were 60% done, and in my mind, I'm like, my inner thoughts, I'm like, oh man, like, what am I thinking? Like, I see why there's no one that tried it, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It gets a lot. You have second thoughts, but like I said, when you have good people in your corner, we just kept pushing through, and we completed it in April. We had a soft opening in April 21st, and we got off running. We did a lot of programs, a lot of court rentals. We do birthday parties. We have private functions, and I must say, like, it's been the best decision I've ever made so far in my business career. And like I said, thanks to good people in my corner that definitely motivated me. It went well because, as you know, us all being young entrepreneurs, you do have the people that are in your corner that's supporting you, but then you also have the critics that are like, this might be a good idea. Someone did it 2 years ago. They failed. What are you doing? So it kind of rattles you a bit. But once you have a strong foundation, a strong support system, just keep pushing through. And like I said, it's been amazing. And the feedback that we got from the community, it's been superb. A lot of kids have access to the gym. And one thing that we hear now is that we try to do a 24/7 service. So we have a code now. So if you have, so like for example, Jaden wants to get into the gym at 12 midnight, here's somewhere they can come. So before that, it was very hard to get into gyms because the bookings were just not there, right?
Even when you were saying how hard it is to find a gym or to go to a gym, they got certain times where the kids can go play, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're not doing it today, or you know what I mean?
Exactly.
At community centers where it's hard for them to get in the time. So it's like, I feel like kids need that stuff in order to stay out of trouble, in order to build the skills, in order to build the confidence. And I think it's important. To touch on you building a gym, I think it creates a paradigm shift because like what you were saying, like when you see someone like yourself doing something like you, that it gives you the boost to be like, oh, I can do it too. So for you or for the community, I feel like it creates a paradigm shift to where now folks can be like, hey, we can create a gym. Like you're that model person to show that, hey, this can be done. You know what I mean? So what's some of the advice or what's some things that you could say to like, say someone from my community or from another community, Black community, wherever, and just like, what are some things that you would say like to instill in them so that they know they can do it?
Yeah. I definitely have to say, if I had to pick one thing, I think a big thing will be sacrifice. I think us being all young, the things that we like to do when we're young, we like to party, we like to go out, we like to have fun. So whatever it might be in your particular life that you may have to put aside to now focus on that bigger goal, I think that's very key. So like with me, I was never really a going up person that much, but I told myself, you know what, I got a vision, I got a plan. There's certain things that I have to do in order to reach this plan. So I made them much more or less. So with going out per se, like I'll go out gradually. I don't go out much. And when I do go out, everybody's like, oh man, like, what are you doing here? Yeah. And I'm just like, I know what my goal is. Another thing is like, I was never a big like video gamer, but like I don't buy any PS4s, PS5, Xbox, and I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing. Like games are fun, but you can get carried away.
Yeah, 100%.
You're now spending 8 hours when you can use that 8 hours working in your business.
That's crucial. I find that's crucial for the young folks watching.
Exactly.
Because the 8 hours that you spend, maybe you might spend 4 hours every day, but that compounds over time. Yeah. So think about you playing the game for 4 hours a day for a week or a month.
Yeah.
Think about spending that 4 hours on building a business, or even just getting the idea, or using that time to do the things that you have to do to build your business.
Exactly.
It's like I played games growing up, and I don't really play much now, but like that for you, it saves a lot of time to build yourself, to build your business, to build. And I think the FOMO, the fear of missing out, going out to the parties and all that stuff, that's crucial, because folks you're playing the game and you're going to the parties. And I'm kind of speaking for like males in general right now, just because like I know that males play the game a lot, like Call of Duty and all this different stuff. And it's like, think about how much you play, and then think about how much you build. And if you're not building as much as you play, then you can't really win. The only way you can win is if you got this natural born crazy talent. But if you're playing more than you're building, you're not gonna win.
On top of that too, like phones as well is another big thing. Also for those of you that might not be video gaming, your time on your phone as well
TikTok
is just as important as well, because like sometimes even for myself as a youngin', I'm like, I think about, I'll lay around and I'll be on my phone for hours, and I'm like, man, like I should be doing something way more like, way more effective, something that's really helps my future. So yeah, just consider that as well. Just a piece of advice from someone that is part of that.
I really appreciate this conversation, because it's a ode to the no days off mantra.
Yeah.
Because like if you're in your phone all day, then you're taking days off.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't sit on social media all day. You can't sit on the game. You got to do the work to get you to where you want to go. Like everybody that you see that's successful is successful because they put in that work. They put in that time.
Sacrifice.
They didn't waste the time.
Yeah.
Just to touch on that point as well, want to make sure that we're being clear. Like we're not saying like you got to work 24/7.
Oh, 100%. You got to have fun time. Relax.
Make sure you have fun, and like we make sure that we have our times where we just chill, sit back. But it has to be a balance, right?
Yeah.
It can't be 80% fun, 20% work, and then think your business is going to be profitable.
100%.
Great, right? So just to find a balance.
Find the balance. It is crucial, and I think that's important to touch on, because like we're not saying like don't have fun, don't sit in your phone at all, and don't party. Do what you do, but in moderation. Everything's good for you in moderation. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, for sure.
So, in terms of like you building this facility, do you have any like partners? How'd the business like structure work?
So when we started the journey, we did have a few people that reached out and inquired about like investing or like being a partner, and we spoke it over. And not to say that we never want to have a partner, but we think for right now, we just want to do it. We just want to do it us and see how it goes. And I think because it was the first one, well, for me, I was a bit hesitant and like, what is the customer value? What is the demographic? What's the market? Like, we want to see like, how did it go? So we did it on our own. No partners. We just grinded, invested. So we saved, we invested. And like I said, talking about it now, I feel so much more relaxed and so much more chill.
Yeah.
But like I said, guys, like it was a big risk. I was like, what am I doing? It's probably like, I don't know if you ever did it with the clothing. I remember when we first got into clothing, we moved up here, we ordered 100 hoodies.
Oh, bro.
And when the hoodies reached to the doorstep, I was like, what are we doing? And that's another advice that we tell anyone that's watching. Like in business, you look at from Steve Jobs to Bill Gates, like at some point during their career, during their story, before they became a billionaire or millionaire, they took some sort of risk. And that's a big thing. Like, it has to be calculated, though. It can't be something just, I'm going to just do this with no sort of conscious decision making behind of it. So it was a risk that we took with the building the spot. Didn't want any partners for right now, and so far it's been going great. And eventually, as we keep growing, we'll take a look into it. We'll take a look into it again and see if we need to add a partner. But for right now, we want to keep it in-house, keep it family-oriented. And like I said, we're just trying to build a path for our daughter, Savannah, so when she gets older. Maybe she wants to do nothing with medical school or nothing with basketball, but at least she has options, right? She has 2 avenues that she can get into, or she can do something completely different. We want to make sure we have a good foundation for her. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I think I could see it going into like a franchise, or you could get facilities all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back home. What's back home? I've seen you went back home recently, or
yes, I went back home in the summer, and having the facility over here in Halifax is a little bit bittersweet. We definitely enjoy it, but back home in Antigua, we have 1 central court, and there's no indoor courts. So we all play outdoors. So the 5-year goal plan, or the 5-year goal, is that eventually we want to be able to do something similar that we did up here, back home in Antigua, for the athletes in Antigua as well, so they can be playing indoors and getting the same training as the athletes are getting up here as well.
Because like it's like kind of flipped for them. It's hot all the time versus
it's hot all the time.
So for us, it's like cold in the winter.
Exactly, yeah. But then also with the facilities, it's we play a lot on concrete, so like they get so much injuries. So like when I moved over here, I was here with guys they have like a torn ACL or like torn MCL. But back home in Antigua, we get in harder falls. But I'll be totally honest, I've never heard someone in Antigua. We do get them, but like we don't have the facilities. We don't have we be getting torn ACLs. We still play. We still ball. Our knees are all. So like we're not getting the proper facilities to be able to expound on our talent. So that's the goal behind of it. Getting the right facilities, getting a shoot machine so we can get lots of shots up, getting an adequate amount of basketballs. So that's the goal.
Yeah, I seen that robot you had.
The technology.
The robot thing that passed the ball right back. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was huge for us as well, because like growing up as well, my coach always used to say, you need to get 500 shots up a week, Chaz. And it sounds good and dandy, but without access to the right equipment, it will take me, and let's say you going to the gym, I take a shot, and I'm not Michael Jordan, so I'm going to miss. So Trev has to now go run for the basketball, hit it back to me. That can take 2.5 hours if I'm a good shooter.
For 500 shots?
For 500 shots at one time.
Yeah.
Now with the shooting machine, I do a session for an hour, and I normally get between 630 to 700 shots total. So it just increases the reps, right?
Yeah, that's
it's all about reps.
Yeah,
so
the reps.
That's the goal behind of it, having the kids able to have access to top level equipment, so they can work on their talent, work on their craft, so they can get better. And hopefully we'll have someone like Lyndall Wigginton again that goes to the NBA.
That's dope. So what are what are the 3 things that you would say that a young basketball player needs in terms of like skill set, mindset, whatever? What are 3 things that you can think of that you can instill?
I'd say right off the bat, you can be the most talented person, but you need to have the right attitude. That's very big. That's very huge. Like playing in college, I've seen a lot of talented athletes, but might not have the best attitude. Might have a little bit too much ego.
Iverson. The Iverson attitude.
Iverson attitude, yeah.
Practice.
Yeah. Great talent, but practice? Yeah, definitely got to practice. Yeah. So I'd say right attitude, being there for your teammates. So you might not be the star player, but how are you going to react when Trev just scored 30, but I haven't gotten into the game as yet? Am I still going to cheer for Trev like I'm Trev? Yeah. So I think being there for your partner. So I look with us. Like she's gonna graduate next week. I'm gonna be the biggest cheerleader. Even though I'm not graduating, I feel like I'm graduating as well. So I'll say right attitude, being there for each other, and last but not least, I'm gonna say it's no days off. So the work ethic has to be there.
I like it.
I'm all about the work ethic. So you can be talented, you can make all the right shots, jump out the gym, but if your work ethic is not there, and there's someone else working harder than you, most times they're going to reach further just because they want it more, right? It's about who wants it more. Facts. So right attitude, being there for your teammate, being there for your partner, and work ethic. I'd say those are the three things.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, and another question, it's kind of like a large question, so take your time with it. But basically, what would you say was like the biggest impact or the biggest takeaway from a lot of the stuff that you've been doing, for instance, opening up the basketball court? You can answer this as well with your journey as well. What's the biggest thing you've learned, or what does that impact mean to you?
That's it first. I would have to say, it's going to sound like I'm repeating myself, but the biggest thing I've learned is that goes straight back to sacrifice as well. So like when we first started, the funny thing about our journey is that back to the first story, when I started, we never said, you know what, we wanted to be entrepreneurs. Like I want to start a business. It kind of happened organically. So like 3 months in, I'm looking at Shayna and like, yo, we got 100 hoodies. Oh, we got a business now. Because I was just training and then a kid came and then we just did some shirts. So I was like, okay, holy moly, now we're 3 months in. What are we gonna do? So that's why I happened back to sacrifice, because now once I was in it 3 months in, and now I have 100 hoodies sitting at my doorstep. I was like, okay, there has to be some way we gotta get these hoodies sold. So if I was just chilling in the daytime, just relaxing, okay, I gotta get my marketing skills up. I gotta market these hoodies now so the customers can see them, so now we can make a profit, at least sell them or break even or what it may be. So I think that's what I would say. The biggest thing I've learned is how much you have to sacrifice sometimes to make your business successful. It's not gonna be successful overnight. It takes a constant grind, a constant work ethic, and also having a great schedule. So, and you stick to the schedule. So, Shayna and I, like what we do every day, is pretty much the exact same thing to the T. Wake up, we deal with our baby, deal with Savannah, feed her, change her diapers. She's off to school. I'm off to the lab. I work. She works at school. We come home. We have our family time. We eat something. We watch TV maybe for like an hour. Back to sleep. Do the same thing again. So it's like having a strict schedule. And funny thing about it is like now she was born. She's 9 months, and maybe she's still too young to even see what we're doing. But like she does the exact same thing every day too. Sleeps the same time, eats the same time. So maybe just coincidence. But I think she's starting young. But having a strict schedule combined with the sacrifice, I think is two things that I think I've learned a lot since starting the business.
Sacrifice.
Now I'm gonna hit it back to her.
Alrighty.
But not too strict. I mean, we still a bit flexible, right?
Yeah.
It's not too strict, but we do have a bit of a schedule and stick with the schedule. I would say probably one of the biggest things that I've learned so far, it is a loaded question, right? I mean, there's so many things that we've learned along the way, so many things that we've adjusted to, and maybe like it's okay to fail, you know? I think, Trevor, you might have talked a little bit about, maybe you might cut this part out. I don't know if you want to share it, but you know, how you had an opportunity and then you thought you'd have some more sales through that opportunity, but it didn't really work out that well. I think also for us with NDO Apparel, when we started it, we were off the ground running, things were going really well, and then life hit us, right? I mean, I was still doing my degree, and we kind of took a little backseat on NDO Apparel. And so we had all these bright futures and ideas for the apparel line, and we still wear it and stuff, but it's not quite where I would like it to be. And I think it's because of the roadblocks along the way, where things happening in our lives, and that's okay. You know what I mean? And then, you know, we're starting it back up. We had to stop for a little while, especially with NDO Fitness sort of kicking off and putting our energies into NDO Fitness and putting my energies into school. But NDO Apparel was like our first baby, right? And so it's definitely back up, and we have it we made a space for it in the NDO Fitness gym. And, you know, we market a lot to young athletes and stuff like that. But not everything might go the way that you seen
100%.
or the way that you planned. It's not, you know, maybe a Gymshark overnight, but sticking with it. And, you know, being okay to fail and try again and bring fresh ideas and be innovative. And that's okay.
Yeah, I think
you know what I
like,
mean?
It takes a risk for you to start it in general, but then also with what you have, you evolved it. It's not that it's a failure. It's it evolved and you pivot and you build. So like it kind of, it took you on, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it took you on a different journey with the fitness, and then it brought you back to the beginning, and now you're able to amplify both.
Exactly.
Because the brand is the brand, and then the fitness, they both add value to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what we're talking about, it comes back to the same point. It takes two to tango. So, like, it's still the same thing we're talking about where it takes two to tango. So, it's great. Yeah.
But I also think another huge lesson that I have learned, and I think Chaz and I are beginning to learn now, is that with your success, it's always good to give back to your community and to use your platform to do good, you know? And I think for us, along the way, we've always sort of given back and so on. But as you continue to grow, then you have an even bigger opportunity to do that and to sort of use your platform, use what, you know, you have at your disposal to give back. And so I think Chaz really, and I might be speaking for him a bit here, and he can speak for himself too, enjoys going to schools and doing team building with school, like, you know, with kids and just giving back, allowing court rentals for, you know, underserved communities to come in at a lower price, and being able to use our business not only to sort of grow it for ourselves and so on, but also as almost like a platform to give back to our community, give back to the basketball culture. And I think at first, I mean, like, it started with being able to give away some hoodies and stuff through our business, but making that impact has really felt so good. And to use our business to do that has, I think for me, it's been a good eye-opening and lesson. And I've also watched that through my parents as well. And being able to do that ourselves in our business, it really does feel really good, I have to say.
Yeah.
You want to talk on that a little bit more, or did I hit it? Okay.
Yeah, you hit that on the spot.
Yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, so I feel like we're definitely, we've been chatting for a good minute, so we're probably nearing the end of the episode. Was there anything that we did not ask or speak of that you guys wanted to discuss?
Just want to say, love what you both are doing. Love what you're doing, Trev. Keep it up. And like I said, in Halifax, it's very small knit and it's a small community. And like, we're both entrepreneurs, we're both business owners. And like, seeing you doing your thing and seeing me doing a thing, it's all positive energy. I'm inspired by you, and I hope you're even somewhat inspired by us.
Likewise,
so,
brother. Likewise.
Let's keep working. We're both young, and what I do realize, like, training so many kids and like dealing with a lot of kids, you'll be surprised at how much they look up to us and how inspired they are by us. You just got to keep grinding, keep going. And like I said, it's an NDO mentality. Let's go.
Sure. There's a couple questions I got before we go to the what is it? The
one more checker.
One more checker.
Yeah.
So your vision from the beginning, like, was it like, okay, I'm going to start a fashion brand, I'm going to build fitness within community? Was that like the vision from the very beginning, and it just played out perfectly how it is now, or was there like?
Great question. So I'll be totally honest. That wasn't the vision when we first started. So the vision when we first started, I came back home and had a little bit of weight. So the vision, primarily, was just trying to get back in shape because I went to the basketball game and some of my teammates were like, "Hey, Chaz, you gotta do something about it." But once that first guy came and started working out with me, and then he went back to the village, and I saw, okay, wait, these kids are motivated, these kids are inspired. The vision was now, how can I keep impacting and inspiring these athletes? Because my time is over. I was 27 at that time. There's not much for me in terms of the athletic side, basketball side, where I could go. I'm already too old for that field. So I was like, how can I give back to the younger generation, and how can I do the right things so they can learn from the mistakes I made when I was younger and now get to that next level. 100%. So that was the goal behind of it. I was trying to teach and train these athletes, so the opportunities that I didn't get, they're able to get it in the future. And by the work that we've done so far, we're proud to say that we've definitely seen a lot of impact and so much feedback, and I think that's what personally motivates me to keep going.
Yeah.
Not the success of the business, not how much profit we made, nothing like that. Is seeing the smiles and the impact that you've created with the kids, especially in the Halifax community and also back home in Antigua. That's what drives me.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. I like it because then the early stage to the 5-year plan, what you just said about now, I think it's gonna be cool to watch this video back to be like, my 5-year plan was to build in Antigua, and then it's like, boom, look at that. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to envision, because we met probably around 5 years ago. So it's like 5 years from now, imagine where we're all at. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And
then my other question was, Antigua's history? Like, could you maybe fill us in? Because I mean, I don't really know much about Antigua. I know a couple guys from down there, and I didn't know that you guys got a lot of white guys down there. Well, I mean, I know a couple, like I know you, and then I know a couple white guys from down there. So it's like those are the only folks I know. So I was like, I didn't know when I met the guy, I was like, you ain't from Antigua, you man, like you a white guy. But then he was like, no, we're down there too.
Yeah, no, for sure. So Antigua, I would say, one of the most beautiful islands in the Caribbean. We have 365 beaches. Really, really, really small knit, small community. So everyone knows each other.
You said 365 beaches.
365 beaches, yeah.
365 beaches?
Yeah. So you can literally go to a different beach every day.
Yeah.
Lots of great food. The people are amazing. I would say there are white people that lives in Antigua, but I would say it's predominantly 99% black, 1% white.
99% black?
I would say a little less than 99.
Maybe 90.
There is a big white community, I would say.
But predominantly black.
Yeah.
We love it here. We love it there. We definitely appreciate living in Halifax as well. We think Halifax is our second home. She's been here for 10 years. I've been now here for 6 years. We have our PR. So we definitely want to, we definitely see a future here in Halifax, but all our family's home in Antigua, so we go back at least twice a year.
In Savannah, would she be considered Canadian?
She is Canadian.
Canadian, yeah. She was born here in Halifax, but I really do hope we're able to sort of teach her our culture and, sort of our values from Antigua.
Yeah, that's what I kind of want to hear from both you guys about, like, historically, like what, you know what I mean? Do you guys know much about, like, how black folks got to Antigua, like the native folks there, like?
So, I mean, in terms of the history, we do have a history of natives. There are Arawaks and predominantly Arawaks, I would say, were the native people there in Antigua. And then we were colonized by England. We got our independence in 1981. So there, I would say maybe a lot of settlers that stayed there. Most people would have left after we got our independence. But that's why we have like the white community that's there and very great community. I think we also have like a melting pot of people. It's not just a white community, a black community. There are people from Lebanon. There are people from Syria. There are people from all different other Caribbean nations, Jamaica. We welcome so many people there. It's a melting pot.
Yeah, you guys are like super nice and humble and cool people. Like when I very first met you guys, and everyone I met from Antigua is like super down to earth, super cool. I find they're like the good Nova Scotian folks. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Do you
nice.
find like if you felt home when you came here?
Yeah, we definitely felt home. We definitely found that when I first moved to Halifax, everyone was so friendly. So like you go to a coffee shop or go to the McDonald's, and as you're going through the door, there's someone holding the door for you. It was definitely heartwarming, and even though I didn't know anything about Halifax before I got here, because she kind of persuaded me to come. But when I got here, man, like I said, I was amazed, and it felt at home right away. Besides the cold,
I was gonna say when winter hits, it don't.
I have to adjust to the cold. So she always makes a joke with me. My first year here, so I was still thinking. Like I said, I had no sort of mindset or sort of any way to like picture how cold it was over here. So I was just thinking like, it's gonna be cold, but I could still kind of wear like what I was wearing in Antigua. So that's all I packed. So my first year at school, oh my gosh, I was going with like, I was still trying to be drippy, trying to be fresh.
Yeah.
And oh man, my first year, I got sick like every other week. And now looking back at it, she laughed at me because she would tease me and say like, you remember how you're dressing when you first came up here? But now after that first year of being a rookie, I now got very acquainted with like, how do you dress?
Yeah.
So now I make sure I double layer.
Yeah.
But I was not double layering. Like we have a thing back home in Antigua where we just wear slippers. We don't really wear socks. We just wear slippers. So like my first year, I was still just wearing literally slippers alone, no socks. And Nova Scotians always used to ask me, like, where are your socks, bro? And I was still trying to find them, like, why you keep asking me about my socks when that's how I wear my slippers? Like, but it took me a time. Sometimes I doubt, but now I do wear slippers and socks. You got to. You get cold.
And got the apparel going with the sweater and the hoodies and all that now.
Because I literally just shared that with my med school tutorial group about you dressing in slippers in the winter when you first came.
I was throwing me under the bus. But yeah, after I adjusted in that aspect, everything else was smooth. Obviously as well, our culture is a bit different where we have different foods in Antigua, but the Halifax food is amazing too. So I love both.
What's like the number one food back home?
Good question.
Our main dish is a pepper pot and fungi. That's like our national dish. There's a lot of like ground provisions, yams, sweet potato. We do eat a lot of rice, I would say, naturally in our diets. But it's a lot of local food. There's not a lot of fast food.
So when you guys come, you guys got to try something called goat water.
Okay.
So it's
Sounds
Explain
weird.
it. Explain it. Yeah.
Like milk.
water,
Yeah.
or like seasoned water with goat meat. It sounds crazy.
It does sound weird.
But it's so literally goat water. It's goat.
Wait.
So it's like a stew. So the
Okay.
water
I was
is like
gonna
a
say
stew.
you don't drink it, like you eating it like a soup.
Yeah,
type.
it's like a
soup,
soup.
Okay,
like
that
a
makes
soup.
more sense.
Yeah.
But it is the best.
It's
That's my
great.
favorite.
Yeah.
Trev goat
It's
water.
called goat
Hey,
water.
goat water. Check
So
it
we
out.
gotta have you. We gotta have you guys come down
Bet.
sometime soon, and
Bet.
we'll definitely make you feel well at home.
Yeah, I'm down.
You guys know our provincial food, right?
Provincial.
Donair.
Or poutine or something.
She likes poutine.
I
Yeah,
do love
likes
poutine,
poutine.
actually.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna hit up you guys' country one of these
100%.
Yeah,
days.
no, for sure. Now the cool thing as well is that so after we got independence, there was a competition in Antigua where we were trying to find a flag, and this was years ago. But my grandfather, he's the one that designed the flag, so we're definitely
sick.
patriotic in that aspect as well. I do believe that we have the best flag in the world, but I'm a little bit biased.
Was he a Samuel?
Yes, he's a Samuel. Yeah.
Dope, dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my mom was actually a Samuel and my dad was a Samuel before they got married. No, they're not related.
No relation.
But they were both Samuel before they got married. So
Yeah.
So a lot of Samuels must be down there, like
Yeah,
how like North
last
Preston
name.
got like the Downies,
And
the
Smiths
Dixons.
and stuff.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Samuel squared.
So whenever you're ready, Trev, Aaliyah, just let me know.
Yeah.
When you guys come to Antigua, we'd love to have you
Oh
guys.
yeah, I'm gonna try to time
Lock it
my
in.
trip when you go down there. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going on again in Christmas.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be the
Home
best
for
time.
Christmas.
But
And then
we
sometime
go-
next year.
we go for summer as well, so
Okay.
definitely gotta make it a plan.
Yeah, make it happen.
I know the kids will love to get some merch. Just
Oh,
haven't
yeah, we'll
seen
bring
you.
some merch down there.
For sure,
Put on.
for sure.
Yeah, there is some down there though, because my boys that are from Antigua, they got some stuff
I
down
saw. Who was it? I saw someone with some Trev clothing
Dope,
in Antigua.
dope, dope,
No, for
dope.
real. Yeah.
Shout out to my
Global.
people out there.
That's good.
So yeah, tell them about the one word
yeah.
checkout.
Yeah, so basically the one word checkout, we basically just say one word that describes how you're feeling, how this episode has made you feel, or how the week has been feeling. So any one word and you describe it and why you chose that word.
I'll start. I think nostalgic. It's been a little while since we sat down and really thought or even talked about our genesis. I mean, sometimes Chaz and I do sit and we kind of look back on our journey and then think about ways we can like sort of be innovative and moving forward. But to sit here and to sort of reminisce on how we started and everything else, it does feel really good. So I would say, yeah, definitely nostalgia.
Love it.
I'll say I had two in mind, impactful and growth, but I'm going to go with growth because I think when we first met that 4 or 5 years ago at the pop-up shop and we chopped it up and now we're having a great conversation here again. And it's amazing to see the growth that you've made, the growth that we've made and the inspiration we have in the community. Just got to keep going. But I'm choosing growth because I think we still got way more growth to do. So just got to keep going and going and going. So then in the next 5 years, we have this conversation again and hopefully we even in a better position and just keep impacting.
That's right.
Having fun with it too.
Yeah.
I think Savannah has one to say.
Savannah, what's your one word?
You say bedtime? Bedtime. What do you say? You say thank you. It's been fun.
Oh,
There
cutie.
you go. There's your one word. My word will be grind. Just from what you guys been doing, grind with med school, grind with business, building it up. I feel like we all got to grind in whatever we're doing. And just to go back to what we were talking about earlier, is like as much as you play, grind or try to grind more than you play, so that you can actually get to where you want to go.
Yep,
I think
sure.
grind is going to be my one.
Yeah, and I feel like my word's probably going to be together. I feel like just seeing you both work together to make a lot of things happen. Parenting, the business, just life in general. And always, it sounds like you guys knew each other for how many years? Oh my goodness, it's a long time.
As well.
Yeah.
We've been together for 7, married for a year.
Yeah.
And
then
I knew her.
we met in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was annoying.
I still don't even know why.
Defend yourself.
I know. I think it's because he was in the year with my brother.
Oh, okay.
So, and that was like the year above me.
Yeah.
So it's like, the brother's little sister
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yes. 100%.
Okay, who got who? You get him or he get you?
Let's hear your story.
Oh yeah, because we didn't hear her
I
story.
got him. I got him. I'm
Okay.
lucky.
There you go.
So I'll be honest. So she first, like when we were going to high school, that time when I thought she was annoying,
Yeah.
she used to try and like talk to me. But
MSN?
huh?
So we're spilling all the files.
But then fast forward years later, I went to a party and I saw her maybe 10 feet away. I was like, holy moly, okay, I gotta hit her up. So
The glow up was real, eh? The glow up was real.
and she didn't stunt with me. She was all love. So
Yeah.
and one thing I like about it, we just hit it off instantly. So like
Yeah.
it was just like
Organic.
organic, meant to
Yeah.
be. And like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be in
Yeah.
Halifax right now. So
Yeah.
she even told me about Halifax, St. Mary's, helped me applying for St. Mary's. And that's why I'm here.
Dope.
Love
6
it.
years
Dope.
later, it's been going well.
Yeah.
Savannah's here now, so
Yeah.
it's been going great. It's been
And that
going
just
great.
ties into the word of together, even that story
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
built together and will continue to grow together. So I
Yes.
think
Yes.
that's what really.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for finding
Yeah.
the time to be on the podcast. It's going to be a great feature Friday. A lot of young guys going to be able to get a lot of inspiration. A lot of young ladies going to get a lot of good inspiration. Medical school, building an entrepreneur business, coaching youth. I think that's important. And we got to see a lot of young people because there's going to be a lot of young people that you're coaching now that are going to become coaches later.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we see some NBA people coming to,
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get
let's
it.
go.
Yeah.
I just want to say, guys, thanks again for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys in Antigua very soon.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Thank you, guys. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks
Yeah.
to the
Appreciate
man
you
for
both.
coming and not acting up.
Yeah.
Let's go. Your first
Good.
podcast.
The youngest ever.
Youngest to do it. 9 months. It's gonna be a lot for someone to beat that. 9
No,
months.
for sure.
Yes.
So where can we find you guys?
Yes, if you want to find us, guys, you can hit us up on our Instagram pages. For the basketball side of it, it's NDO.Fitness, fitness with 3 S's. For the clothing apparel side, it's NDO Apparel Inc. That's for social media, for Instagram. Also, you can send us an email, ndoleague@gmail.com. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Let's go.
And what kind of services do you offer?
So we do clothing, we have apparel, we have activewear, we have hoodies, t-shirts, we have socks. Just trying to learn from the greatest here, Trev.
No way.
So, and then for the basketball side of it, we do basketball training. We also do birthday parties. We do court rentals. We have private functions. So hit us up, send us an email, and I'll be gladly to respond to you guys. Looking forward to seeing all of you.
Yep. No days off. Check them out.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you all for tuning in. You already know what to do. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, share, save, all of it. I could go on forever. And if you want to participate in our e-gift card giveaway, Trev, do you want to give them a rundown of how they can do that?
Oh, yeah. So like you said about the like, comment, subscribe, leave your one-word checkout, hashtag that. Yeah. So if you want to win, you can win. If you don't, just like it. You can still win.
Yeah. And make sure you tune in on all podcast platforms and also tune in on YouTube as well. And I realized, Trev, at the beginning, we forgot to introduce ourselves. So just wanted to reiterate who I am. I'm Aaliyah Erb Smith, and I am your host for Feature Friday. And also this is,
Trevor Silver.
and we'll catch you on the next one. And
NDO, let's
go! So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our Feature Friday podcast. And just wanted to make sure that you guys are connected on all platforms. So wherever you're tuning in, maybe even leave us a 5-star review.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit like and subscribe.
And on our social medias as well, you can follow us at ANS Lab or at African Nova Scotian Youth Lab as well on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got the whole mumble jumble. It'll be in our link tree in our bio.
Don't forget to enter our contest that we have in each episode.
And the way to enter that contest will be sprinkled throughout our episodes, so make sure that you're listening and paying attention.
Each episode may be different, but comment below wherever you are.
And if you don't use social media and you're one of those people, you can even reach out to us by email at anslab@onenorthend.com.
The details are in the episode description.
And last but not least, we want to make sure that we get you guys connected to our resource, our network of resources, the Grapevine newsletters. So to get subscribed, you can check the link in our bio and subscribe yourself. But if you're not that tech savvy, you can also email us at anslab@onenorthend.com and we can get you hooked up.
We'll see you on the next episode.
See you next month.
Let's get it.
Feature Friday.
What's your favorite thing about Fridays?
That's a good question.
The features.